Trying to decide whether that new game is worth your $60? Or maybe you're just wondering if an old game is worth your time. Well, you came to the right place. This is the only podcast that tries to answer the question,
should I buy it though?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Should I Buy It Though? And this week, I am the Papi of Power.
I am Nicholas Beans and Tot Toast, the game snob.
Yeah, it's TJ Barry, and I'm the boomer reviewer.
Bro, like, I'm still Amanda Facasta. I'm still your casual gamer. Like, nothing's changed. Everything is the same.
I'm Nick Palazzo. I'm the tryhard gamer.
Okay, and for today's episode, I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest. He just so happens to be a very good friend of mine, like, whatever. He's a super talented actor. He is a badass musician, and he's known as the Viner who still hasn't found his freaking berries. Please introduce Giorgio Volpe.
Hey guys, it's so nice to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm pumped to review this game with you guys.
Thank you so much for being here, bro. Like, it means a lot. Like, you were the one that recommended this game to me, so thank you so much for that. 1, 2, go ahead and let me know, like, what kind of gamer are you? Are you like casual like me, or are you like a snobby boy like Senor Benetados over there? Like, what are you?
Yeah, you know, really the history of my gaming experience, we got...
Okay, but like, don't get like too into it. Like, we don't have that much time, but like, go ahead.
When I was 2 in the womb, I was playing Sudoku, and...
Okay, so like, what is your main console of choice?
Yeah, so I play PS4. I'm a PlayStation guy. I love the narrative game. I'm loving The Last of Us. I like narrative-driven games, something I can sink my teeth into, but then you got Apex Legends, and that's just pure fun. So we got both ends of the spectrum.
Yes, PS4, good year.
The Last of Us has my arch enemy, Neil Druckmann.
But the consoles lack the power of the PC. The PC is unparalleled in its powerful potential.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna have to say like PC gamer for life. Thank you very much. But like, anyway, whatever.
Good opinion, mommy.
Of course, like, whatever. Thank you so much for being here with us. Do you want to go ahead and give us a rundown of what the hell Control is?
Yeah, no, 100%. So Control is definitely an interesting game. It centers around the main protagonist, which is Jessie Faden, right? You follow Jessie Faden as she is beckoned to the oldest house, which is a government facility that hides some interesting secrets within its walls. And it's, if you like Warehouse 13, or if you're a fan of like the X-Files, that kind of interesting government secret, top interesting, that kind of stuff, you'll love this game. You'll really be infatuated by the story, I think.
Okay, wonderful description, pero listen. The first thing we need to talk about is the powerful papi percentage of this game. This game, the gameplay, is unlike anything you ever seen. See, because sometimes you want to feel powerful, you want to have cool powers, right? That's why we play the games. A game like Jedi Fallen Order. You want to be a Jedi. But look at the powers they give you. A little pull, a little push. Nothing powerful. I don't feel like a powerful papi. This game makes you feel like a powerful papi puffed with pride.
Ay, Dios.
You feel like a badass papi in the gameplay of this game.
It's true.
It's very true. You get the craziest powers, and the most fun thing about the game is that there are more powers that you can unlock. See, Papi of Power here, he likes to find things of equal power levels. Never more powerful, but equal power levels. And this game is full of things called objects of power. And obviously, Papi wants more power. So, you unlock these objects, and you get incredible powers. You get the ability to shield yourself. You get the ability to pick up enemies and throw them with your freaking mind. You can fly. Listen, I felt like a potent Papi in this game.
I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you, though. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Listen. Control, or should I say, cruise control, nay, shall I say, snooze control, has been done already. And in fact, have any of you played a Saints Row game?
Pero excuse me, these are different beasts. This game, do you know what it does? It is Doom with a story.
Nay, again, incorrect. This has been done before. Saints Row lets you do all of these things and more with a very comedic storyline as well.
Pero papi, this game is funny as fuck. What are you talking about? This game is so freaking funny. Every time you pick up... Here's the thing, right? You were the one defending the cheesiness of Until Dawn, right? Listen,
Correct.
this game balances the comedy so perfectly because the world is so serious, but the little aspects, the little juicy pieces that they throw in are deliciously comedic. There is one point in the game when I am walking to the very important mission because, you know, Papi only does primary missions. The important shit, that's where he's at. But I'm walking on my way to the mission, and what do I see? There's a puny Papi sitting there staring at a refrigerator. The refrigerator is an object of power. He cannot take his eyes off of it. It's his job. And he is crying. He is begging for help. He says, please, I need to close my eyes. My eyes are hurting. But you know what? He has to stay there. Because Papi has more important things to do. So he flies off to do his important mission. And you can come back and help him if you like that sort of thing. But these moments of very intense comedy, still rooted in the drama of the world. It pokes fun at itself in a very, very clever way. And in all of the pickups that you can find, the files and the writing, there is so much clever comedy in there. Am I right?
You have,
Of course.
Of course. Did you come across the rubber duck mission?
I am a personal fan of the rubber duck mission. I was particularly fond of that. It was quite funny. However, I will say about the gameplay, the balancing is all off. It is completely off. In order to maximize my full potential in the game, I dumped all of my ability points into the force push ability. And I am using the phrase force push because it is exactly like one of my favorite franchises of all time, Star Wars. Because that's exactly what she is, a Jedi. So once I got all the force push abilities maximized, that is all I used throughout the entire game because that is the most damage you could possibly do. Everything else was useless.
Okay, bro, like I'm gonna have to like stop you right there really quick because like here's the thing. Because like when I was playing the game and like you probably watched it, I did like the stream. So like my main thing was like I'm gonna finish the main story first and then I'll worry about like the side stuff, like not a big deal, like whatever. So and I looked at some reviews and I see some people like, you know, people play differently. Like that's totally okay. Like I don't like whatever, you do you. But me playing the main storyline and not doing the side missions totally like, I mean, like correct me if I'm wrong, but like maybe I did something wrong, but like I don't know, like it was the perfect difficulty for me to still feel like I'm being challenged as I'm fighting these enemies,
Oh, yes,
but
for
still not being like,
casuals.
can you, I'm sorry, I'm not done. Thank you. Okay, anyway. So like, I still felt like there was a bit of a challenge as I was fighting these enemies and stuff. But at the same time, I wasn't like discouraged to like stop. I mean, there was at like one point, like with all the people that kept like reappearing, you know what I mean? That one. I got like stuck there for a little bit, but like I was like, no, bro, like I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do it, and I did it. That's it. Like that's just, you know. But like, hey, again, if you wanna play how you wanna play and go bulk up, hey, like you can't tell me that throwing shit at people isn't fucking funny, cause it is.
It's been done.
Okay, so what? Star Wars has been done for how long, and yet here you are, keep watching this freaking movie like
I
as
did
if.
watch Star Wars. It's full.
All right, I'm not talking about you specifically, bro. Like, can you please, like, just hear me out, okay?
Don't say anything bad about Star Wars.
Or what?
Mommy, listen. The nerd has a point. The difficulty is a little crazy
There
in
is
this
none.
game. When you start the game, you start off feeling pretty freaking powerful, right? And there are a lot of missions when you get a new power and you are just tearing people up with the power, you feel awesome and you feel powerful. And you know what? There is a balance to strike. This is why I love a game like Doom. That game makes you feel like a powerful papi. You have crazy powers, you can tear people apart with your hands, but there is always a challenge. Because a powerful papi without a mountain to climb is no papi at all. Right? So you want a good challenge. The problem with this game is that it gives you these crazy powers, but it fluctuates between giving you no challenge at all and giving you too much challenge. It's very hard for the game to get the balance just right, where you're always being challenged. There are times when you are going to breeze through the game for forever, and then there are other times where it goes so long without giving you a save point that when you die, you are fighting the same cannon fodder enemies over and over and over again just to get to the actual challenging part. And I saw you do it on stream. I saw you climb those stairs 20 times every time you have to go out to take out those.
Okay, yeah, I know I was there. Thank you.
The checkpointing is terrible in this game. It makes you go all the way back to the start of an area, and you gotta run all the way back to the encounter.
I remember back in my day when you couldn't save a game. There weren't save points, you just had to get good, and maybe that's what this game wants you to do. It just wants you to be good at the game.
Control is the Dark
Thank
Souls
you.
of Control, I think. Does that make sense?
No.
I love Dark Souls.
Heck yeah, dude.
Tell me more, please.
But it's hard to get good at the game when the game just has you doing the same boring missions over and over again. Look, I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
okay.
I'm not gonna lie. The big encounters, the special missions, the objects of power when you are fighting other powerful papis, those are cool moments. I'm not gonna lie. I love going head to head with an equally powerful papi. But when you're fighting all the peons, the little babies that you're
Little
crushing,
sponges. They're sponges.
Exactly. And the problem is all of the enemies, when they first get introduced, they're unique. But after a while, really, it's a lot of the same. And when you die and you respawn, it's I don't even know if they're scripted encounters. I think sometimes the enemies it throws at you are randomly generated because it knows that they are so interchangeable like that.
It's true. It's true. There's something poetic about it, I think, such as life. You know, we can't predict the pacing of life. It almost reflects this nature. I feel like if there's an exciting mission every time, it's almost like, hey, you know, we gotta build up, we gotta keep building up. You gotta maintain a little bit of, hey, this was a big thing, and now it's a little nothing. And then a little something.
Bro, like, are you on drugs? Like, did you take drugs before coming on this show? Like, did
That's
that like,
classified
happen?
by
It's
the
in the
Bureau. It's
tea.
classified.
It's right in there. He's drinking right now.
Delicious.
Bro, like, okay, like, yes, these are all good points. I hear you about the enemies. Like, yes, okay. But, like, I still had fun, bro. Like, at the end of the day, if I'm having a good time, like, I'm having a good time. Like, yes, did I scream a lot? And, like, did I get a little frustrated? Sure. But, like, it's a game. Like, it's gonna
It's
happen.
like a donut, you know, a powdered donut. You see one. I mean, hear me out. I mean,
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Thank
I'm
you,
listening.
thank
No.
it's like a powdered donut. You know, you go get one, and you have one, and it's real good the first time. And then 5 times later, it's still pretty good. You know what? Pizza. That's a better metaphor. You know, it's just, it feels good to fling some hiss people. It feels good, and they keep giving you the feeling. I think that they really got the weight of all the mechanics and the physics really well. They just, it sits well in the game, and I think that, yeah, it can get repetitive. I don't disagree, but I think that it's satisfying every time.
I do agree the gunplay and the mechanics and the flying are quite fun to do over and over again.
Listen, I agree with you on some of the points.
Thank you.
Okay? I think a lot of the gameplay is simple and satisfying. And I like that. The gunplay is not too complicated. There's not a million different weapons. Your abilities are pretty straightforward. They are simple, but they are satisfying to use. But the problem is when the encounters get stale or when the power levels are all over the place. Because then it's hard to keep someone engaged. You know? And so when you get a little bit bored, when it's been too easy for too long, or when a certain encounter there's not enough checkpoints, and then you are playing the same area over and over again, at that point when you don't have this spice, that's when Papi loses passion. And if Papi has no passion, why is he going to play the game? Just so he can flex over and over to nobody? No.
Oh, you don't want to lose.
The game needs to keep you hooked.
You want to win.
Exactly. You want to overcome the challenge. But if the challenge is not interesting, then I'm going to go fight someone more powerful. I need to find a Papi of equal power.
If you wanted to save, why didn't you just go visit a control? You could always run back and save it again and then go continue. You won't have to go and fight the same enemies. Oh,
Because it respawns the cannon fodder enemies every time you respawn.
Okay, but like, wait, because like, look, I know that is true, yes. But like, if you saw me on the stream, there was a point where Gio came in and he was watching and he was like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you could totally just like run past them. And I was like, bro, like, no, I'm gonna fight. But then I was like, bro, if I keep dying and I just keep fighting these dudes, like, I'm gonna be here forever. So you just go, like, just go. Like,
I do
it's
run
not that
past
deep,
them,
just
but
go.
like, look, there is one egregious mission, I think, and it is a mission where you got stuck. It is almost the very end of the game, and you have to disable some devices. And it is just waves of enemies that are not particularly challenging, but it's just too many. And it's not a lot of fun. It's just tricky. But not in an intellectually challenging way. I don't get to flex my brain muscles. It's just
Oh my
tricky
God,
because
are you kidding me,
there's
bro?
too many of them.
Intellectually challenging. Like, who are you?
He's Poppy.
I'm the Papi of Power.
Okay. Oh my.
Mami, you know this. Come on, bro.
I too would like to disagree with you for a moment, if I may.
Yes.
The enemies do not always respawn. If you are an avid trophy hunter, such as myself, the trophies become very grindy towards the end for a particular reason. That's because the enemies don't spawn all the time. You must complete certain missions within the game to get points, ability points, in order to spend on your ability tree. And there's a trophy for getting 100 ability points in the game. And you do not unlock through the main story and the side missions enough to get that trophy. So you must continue to respawn and encounter enemies again and again and again until you get enough to spend on all the ability tree points. It is insanely grindy and confusing, and I don't like it very much.
I mean, yeah, if you're like a tryhard, sure, like, yeah, that can totally be an issue. But like,
Wait, I have a question for Mr. Nerdlazo.
Please,
Do you mind if I address you as this?
you may.
God bless. Well, I do you like Kingdom Hearts?
I love Kingdom Hearts with all my soul and being.
Well, listen, it's like, I feel like it's
Simple
like
and
Heartless
clean.
Hunters almost. It's very similar in the sense that maybe they don't always spawn, but you kind of have an idea where they can spawn, so you're aware.
Actually, the spawning system in Kingdom Hearts, as long as you leave 2 areas away and come back to the area where you're trying to fight Heartless, they will indeed respawn. There is a exact algorithm to how they respawn in that game.
Okay,
So I
Rico.
strongly disagree
Okay,
with your
Rico.
point, but I see what you're trying to say.
Yikes, alright, well, that got a little bit out of hand, but alright, well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I do want to give some points to the game. As far as the gameplay loop, when you are in an interesting encounter, I think the game steals from Doom. I keep bringing up Doom, but it is a game that makes you feel powerful. This game does a clever thing in making you pick up power-ups and health by the enemies you kill. And so, sometimes you wanna be a little scared baby, and you wanna hide in the corner behind the cover, and you wanna take little shots at people. But this game, most of the time, rewards you for slaughtering your enemies and taking their health for your own. And I think that made me feel pretty freaking powerful.
A Poppy of Power. A POP.
Exactly.
Not an oops. Not an OOP. A POP.
No, I am not a mistake. Do not get it twisted. I am not an oops, I am a pop.
And not a poop.
Definitely not a poop. Which brings us to a good point. I think now we start talking about the freaking story of this game. Listen, Papi is smart, and there's a lot of clever things in this game, but there are also things that do not get explained.
Ooh, I love it.
This game, do you know what they did? The story was a house. It was the oldest house. They built the house. It was beautiful. But you know what they did? They left a big hole in the ceiling where the ending is supposed to be. And they said, you know what? Oh, it's okay. The DLC will cover that later. And that is unacceptable to me. Papi completes his projects.
I gotta tell you, I'm the kind of guy that I'll watch The Shining and stay up for a week watching the documentaries that people make about fan theories. Oh, the cans in the refrigerator have Native Americans on them. It must mean something. And maybe it does. But here's what I'll say. Is I stayed up nights thinking about reading the classified documents, listen, if you play this game, you'll understand about every 0.2 seconds you get some sort of a document, a
Yes.
podcast, a recording, an audio file, and if you're a geek, if you like world building, baby, this game is chock full of it.
I will say, this game reminds me of another that I like very much called Bloodborne, where the game gives you little trickles of information that you have to put all together and weave throughout the story and build the world and the story yourself. And I very much appreciate that form of storytelling quite a bit.
I agree with you. Listen, Papi's powers don't just come from his muscles, it comes from his mind. And the game does a good job of letting you flex those mind muscles when you are putting this story together. There are little tidbits that are strewn throughout significant story pieces that you can miss entirely. Little recordings that reveal big revelations about the game that you could just run right past. And so it fleshes out the characters in interesting ways. It has little humor there. And you know what? Sometimes Papi wants to piss his pants a little bit. And this game, well, it didn't make me piss my pants.
Aww.
But, I know, unfortunately. But, it did a good job of doing some Bioshock scares a little bit. It gives you a little upgrade, and it throws a monster at you. Or, I go to get the upgrade, I fall through a hole, and I'm in the astral plane all of a sudden. I kill some zombies, right? They're shambling, they're slow, right? I say, pfft. You're puny. You cannot stand up to Papi. So I kill a bunch of them and I run away from the rest. And then I took too long in an area and one of these surviving zombies had been following me for the last 5 minutes. I turned around and he was right in my face. And you know what? Papi likes persistence. So I give that zombie Papi points.
Papi. Oh, is it like Whose Line where the points don't matter, or are we just? I love that.
No, Papi's points are important.
Okay. Is someone keeping a tally?
I am.
Thank you. Great.
No, not even like a little bit. But
Hey everyone, it's me with a couple of quick announcements. First off, we wanted to address some changes. Control recently announced their August update that addresses some of the issues that we have in this episode with checkpointing. Nothing major, but it may assuage some of those concerns if you're interested in playing the game. A lot of our other points remain unchanged though. Next, we have chosen our winner for the Avengers giveaway, so congratulations to that lucky winner. They have already been contacted and accepted the gift. If you didn't win this time, don't worry. We have some more giveaways planned in the very near future, so stay tuned. And of course, as always, we want to give a very special thank you to our patrons who support the podcast, Jerry Benetatos and Ann Baird. Thank you so much. If you're listening and wondering how you can support the podcast, we actually have links in the show note for both our Patreon and by request, we have set up a Ko-fi where you can make a one-time $3 donation and buy us a cup of coffee, and that all goes to supporting the show. If you want to support us but don't have the means to do so, then please leave us a written review in the podcast app of your choice. It really helps with getting the show in front of more people. And lastly, if you like what we're doing here, please go check out our other show, Dungeons and Drimbus. Our main campaign is really ramping up, and if you like this show, this episode in particular, I think you would really like Dungeons and Drimbus. That's all from me for today. I'll let you get back to enjoying the episode.
look, I just want to say I agree because the game definitely encourages you to explore. Like, clearly, this place is freaking huge, okay? This place is humongous, but they reward you for it, okay? They reward you for that, and I respect that. Especially as a person who, we already know, we've established this, I love to just, like, walk around and look for shit. Now, for the sake of the stream, I couldn't do that as much because I'm like, okay, like, I have a mission and I gotta do the main storyline and I have to finish it by whatever, okay? But I still got to explore a little bit, and I freaking love that. And now that I'm doing the side missions, bro, like, I'm having a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm having a great time. Are you kidding?
I think that the best way to play this game, personally, is just set up some shop, turn off all the lights, just get real into it. Put some headphones on.
That's what I do.
Surround sound,
Bro.
because this is like in the same vein of BioShock, where you got like a thick world building kind of thing going on, where the game asks you to get fully immersed in it. The soundtrack, the asymmetrical rhythmic patterns that give you some tension, as the papi would say. You know, if you like
tension.
That's right. If you like collecting stuff, this game has your back. You gotta check every freaking bathroom stall because there's an upgrade in there. Trust me.
I will say, one of the things that I think the story could have done better are some of the characters. I think the characters...
What?
Listen to me.
I highly disagree with you. Continue.
I think the characters are good and entertaining. I like their design. I like what they have to say. But I think it plays on archetypes that you understand. And it fails to give some of the characters a little more depth that I would have liked. I think the characters are good, but most of them could use with a little more fleshing out.
Can you name drop for me, please? Can you give me
Yes,
some?
the creepy guy that Mr. Nerd likes.
Oh,
Ati?
the janitor, baby.
No,
The
Ati's
coolest
cool.
janitor in the world?
No, Ati is cool. Ati is fleshed out.
God.
Mr.
Langston, my favorite character in the game?
Exactly, of course, is your favorite, you creep.
Bro, are you serious? Langston is your favorite?
He made a 69 joke. It was very funny.
I just want to go on
course
record to
he's your
say
favorite.
I think he looks a lot like Philip Seymour Hoffman with a lip scar.
He does.
I just want to say
He does.
That's personally when I
does.
was playing the game, I was like, Philip Seymour, rest in peace, Philip Seymour.
Yeah.
I do see what you're saying. I think though, I guess I'm an optimist. I look on the positive end of that spectrum, and I kind of think I do like when characters aren't so fleshed out, just enough to sit in the bed of reality that the game provides. But I do like the air of mystery. I want to figure out what's going on with these people, and I like that I don't know everything. I'm like, why that was a weird off-color sentence. Interesting. Why'd they say that? I'll come back later. I'm just gonna do something else and come back. I do like a little mystery.
I appreciated how a lot of these characters broke the fourth wall quite a bit.
I agree with that, but like in the case of
Was intriguing.
there is a woman that you meet later, she has a badass character design,
Oy.
and it is before a little puzzle that you have to do.
Marshall?
Exactly, Marshall.
Marshall.
And listen,
Amazing, what a badass.
Marshall is cool, but I wanted to see more of her. Where did she go?
I can totally agree with you there, because I also looked at her and I was like, bro, first of all, that jacket, straight fire.
Oh,
Loved it. Like, wow. And then two, I was like, wow, like a badass woman just in here being like, this is what we're gonna do right now. And I was like, I got mad respect for you. And then you're right, like she's kind of like gone for a bit. So like, no, like okay, I can get that.
There is a story reason for her not being around, I would like to point out.
Would you like to share with the group, Mr. Tryhard?
Yes, Geo might be a better one to explain it, but I believe a couple times throughout the game they said that she is going hunting in the research department to go search for an astral tear somewhere in the basement, I believe, and she goes on exploring by herself. They say she disappears for hours on end and no one can find her.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe.
This is true.
Right?
Oh, no, listen, Nerd Lazo, of course, 100%. So
Oh,
So
excellent.
essentially, just to give us some more context of like how the game kind of runs, you're essentially in this ever-expanding government building that is inspired by a real-life location in New York, that is a windowless, completely like just concrete skyscraper, and you visit different sectors via an elevator passage throughout these. This whole building, and in doing so you uncover characters, uncover documents and story points to kind of lead you through the main campaign. And yes, so Marshall's a character that you meet, and she effectively is this like kind of badass, like soldier, fighter, trooper woman that yes, there's a story device that makes her unavailable for some of the campaign, but I think maybe they're setting up a DLC where you encounter her wherever she's doing. It's interesting, but I do miss her.
I agree with you, but this is my next big point.
Dígame.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think the game was made to sell DLC.
Ay.
DLC means downloadable content for all you normies out there.
Oh.
And so, here's the thing. I love having threads that you can explore in DLC. I love having additional stories so that Papi can really get in there and understand the intricacies of your mind and the characters. But what Papi cannot stand is when businesses decide to be bad business boys and make decisions that are made to create profit down the line.
BBBs.
And it seems to me like this game is setting up some bad business boy decisions. It is not to say that it makes the game bad in and of itself, but it makes Papi wary to give over his money because you're going to support games that are not fully complete. Because they could have had this story in their heads from the very beginning and decided to hold it just because they knew that people would purchase the game and the DLC after the fact.
Not only that, but they are not giving people who own the game already a free upgrade to the next generation of consoles, therefore forcing people to purchase the deluxe edition of their product.
Yes.
So 2 triple B violations.
Listen, I understand business decisions are difficult and there are lots of factors that go into that. I understand. But if your customers paid $90 for a game that came out less than a year ago, and today the people who did not support you at launch can pay less than half of that and get the free upgrade, that does not seem right to me.
Yes. So I guess the controversy what's going on here is that there are 2 versions of the game that are available for a PS4. There is the regular edition of the game with a season pass that you buy in addition to the base game, and then an ultimate edition that comes with the base game wrapped in with the season package. Now, the PS5 is coming out in a few months. I'm pumped. I'm raising my hand. You guys can't see, but it's a podcast, so raising my hand, I'm pumped. But apparently the only version that you'll be able to play that can be fully upgraded in the future is the Ultimate Edition. If you bought the regular base game with the season pass on PS4, you can play it essentially back cataloged, what's the term called, Mr. Palazzo?
Backwards compatibility.
There we go.
Papi, grazie. So yes, backwards compatible. You'll be able to play the base game backwards compatible, but it won't, I guess, run as smooth or as optimized for the PS5, which no one's really too sure how that's going to go. But if you do want any future DLC for the game, definitely I'd say wait or get the PS4 Ultimate Edition so that you can upgrade it on the PS5, which is... It's lame, because I bought the base game in the season pass, and I'm like, ¿Qué con eso, papi, right?
Exactly. Listen, Papi does not have that power because Papi plays on PC. He needs all the power he can get. Terry Crews, I'm looking at you. Anyways, but Papi plays on PC, so he's good. He gets the upgrades. Papi gets a 2080 Ti, and he has the most buttery smooth graphics you can imagine. But what I cannot stand is the incessant whining of Mr. Palazzo over here, talking about how the game ran on the PlayStation. And people like him are the people who need the upgrade and are the people who are not getting it.
Tell us how you really feel, Plaza.
The game, pardon my French, ran like dog shit on the PlayStation 4. Frames dropped all the time. I could not pause the game because if I were to unpause the game, frames would drop to maybe 3 frames a second for, I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds at a time. The game was unplayable. If there were multiple enemies on the screen with a bunch of explosions, game was unplayable due to the frame drops. And not only this, but this game had the worst texture popping I have seen in any game. I would stand in front of a painting that was completely blurry, and I would have to wait not but 10 to 15 seconds for that texture to pop in as it should. I couldn't read anything. I couldn't see anything. It was horrible. If you're going to buy this game, do it on the PC because the consoles are horrible for this game.
Can I tell you, I thought that the frame rate dropping was the hiss corrupting my game. I thought it was like a fourth wall break. Let me tell you something. But you're right. Yeah, the PS4 definitely suffers from frame rate drops. The most optimized version of the game is definitely for PC. PS4, yeah, it's an interesting one. Although I will say it added to the tension of the fights. I was like, what's going on? Can't see something for a second. What's happening?
I appreciate your optimism, but I do not think this is the optimal way to present a game to your customers.
Absolutamente.
So is that a triple B violation as well for the PlayStation?
I think so. I think bad business boys, you need to optimize your game.
Come on, Remedy.
And if you're not going to optimize it, give them the free upgrade.
That's a good point.
Listen, not everyone can have a PS4 Pro or a PC. I understand some of the peons, they need less powerful performance systems.
Too much to handle.
But they should still be able to play the game. They paid for the game, they should be able to see it.
Did this game remind anyone of any movies in particular?
No.
That's a good question.
No?
That's a good question.
It's the X-Files, yes?
I'd say some X-Files. I'd say a little bit of Shining for me personally, the atmospheric nature of it. And then also, I don't know if we got any Shining nerds in the audience here, but I dug deep into The Shining. I don't know. You guys, the Colorado room, the famous Colorado room where Jack Nicholson's just, hey, I'm not gonna hurt ya, on the staircase, yeah? Tennis ball, great. So if we look at the layout of this area, the second floor of the Colorado room has hallways that lead into both sides, correct? You got when you're riding the tricycle, you see the entire layout, right? If you look at that hallway, some of the doors lead directly out into the air of the Colorado room, like this lounge area. So they don't exist, these doors. And I like that that's the same kind of element as the oldest house when in Control. You guys have no idea how expansive and how large the interior of this building is, because it's ever changing. That's part of the story. You know, you guys essentially are exploring this ever expanding space, which I just love. It adds to the atmosphere. It's like, what's going on? Is this room going to disappear when I get back? What if I have to pee? What if I get stuck in an astral plane once I leave? It's crazy.
Not only that, this game also reminded me about The Shining a great deal, because people in this game could communicate and open and lock things through their minds. And not only that, but there is a location in the game called the Ocean View Motel, which reminded me a great deal of Overlook Hotel and that sort of vibe, and how that area really operated. I thought that was very interesting and very cool, because I love The Shining quite a bit.
I did not make those connections with the main game, but I will say there's one section in particular that I think you want to talk about. It is a section that reminds me the gameplay of Doom with the music, although not as badass, I will say. It's not as powerful, the music, but pretty good still. And then the movement and the presentation is a mixture of Monsters Inc. and Doctor Strange.
Ooh,
I thought you were going to say Inception.
Inception as well.
Inception as well, yes.
for sure.
Bro, like, that's like the perfect mix. Okay, so I can just say it's the Ashtray Maze. Like, we're not gonna get upset
Correct.
if I say that, right? Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
no, you can go there like in the beginning of the game, yeah.
It's no, but the thing is, like, you can go there in the beginning of the game, like you mentioned to me to do. First of all, screw you for that, because you knew I couldn't get through it, so I was just like walking around in circles, and I'm like, bro, how the hell am I supposed to freaking do this,
But you're
dude?
ha-
So
But you're
screw
happy
you.
that you experienced before you could get through it, right?
But shut up, bro. Like, that's not the point. The point is that I had to go and do all this other stuff to then get the thing that I need to do this freaking maze. And let me tell you,
KK.
it was the happiest moment of my like life, I think, of like, especially like this whole quarantine, bro. Best moment. Like, that was amazing. That was
It was
amazing.
amazing.
Are you
An ashtray amazing.
Hey, don't shut up. Shut up. Stop. Why did I don't let me bring a guest next time. Let me just say that.
Yikes.
Okay, anyway, next look.
Mommy, you
I'm
asked for
saying-
it. You know I like to
Shut
bring
up,
you
bro.
for
Like, he
it.
recommended a game, and I'm not actually upset. I loved it. Whatever. But this maze, bro, when that music kicked in, the way, look, I know like there's no way for them to be able to time the music with like what's going on in the game. Like, there's not, because it's gonna be different for every person playing. But the way it timed out for me, oh my God, bro. Like, I was going and I was killing people and the music was like going hard, but then you get to that guitar solo moment where everything's kind of soft, and I was just like trying to find the right hole to fall through or the right door to go through, and like everything was just moving, and then it picked back up again, and then you're back to killing, and I was like, bro, that was straight up like chef's kiss. Like, that was straight fire, bro. Like, I just couldn't believe it happened. I'm sorry. Like,
It was the best part of the game.
I won't say it's like the best part, but it's definitely like one of my favorites. Like, that was that, and like the other thing that we all know what I'm
Did you feel like a
about,
powerful
bro.
Poppy playing that?
I felt like a powerful me. Screw Papi. Papi's his own person. Go ahead, Papi.
Papi felt like a powerful Papi.
No shit.
I will say it was a pretty good section of the game. I don't think I'm as crazy about it as everyone else, but I liked it a lot. For me, the best part of the game is towards the end, and it is a moment when my Papi power was rivaled by a Papi of nearly equal power. I have to say, throughout the game, you meet and get to know a character named Dr. Darling. And Dr. Darling, let me tell you,
Porfa.
he has Papi power beyond what you can imagine. Hiding behind his little bow tie and his lab coat is a banging body and some incredible booty shaking skills.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's
No,
all I'm
bro,
gonna
like-
say. Dr. Darling, I have my eyes on you. You better not step out of line.
You get to meet, get to know, and fall in love with Mr. Darling. That's the last part you missed. You fall in love with this character. Like I
I
would.
called it.
You did. Like, you said it as a joke at first, and you're like, oh, you're in love with them. I'm like, no, bro, like, not at all. But then, like, you keep going, and you're like, bro, like, those glasses, that bow tie, the sweater vest, are you kidding? Like, you're gonna tell me you don't love this person? No, like,
And
you're
it's
lying.
hard, it's
like,
hard
you're
to
straight
not
up lying to
fall
my
in love
face.
with someone when they're in front of like grainy film. You know what I mean?
It's so hard. And, like, the aesthetic, too, like, we already know, like, I compared it all the time on the stream, but, like, I loved it. And then that, I don't want to spoil because that's, like, a super good part. But, like, Papi, like, I know exactly what you're talking about, and
Exactly.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like, we are on the same page, same book, same, like, section of the library there, like, for sure.
As the kids say, I am a Dr. Darling, a stung.
Well, we're
Now, you brought up aesthetic, and I just want to talk on it for a little bit. This game, listen, beautiful. Is the way I like to lay out everything. Big white text. That is the aesthetic of the game. And it is freaking great. I love it. I want to have it framed on my wall. You enter a new section, big white text. I cannot even see what the game is doing. I don't know where I'm walking, and I don't care. Okay? It's wonderful. The aesthetic of the documents, perfect, crisp, little square corners. Listen, I like my things to be organized. Papi likes nice pressed things. And that it is so clean. The layout, the menus, all of it. And the game even does... Listen, it gets a little funky. It gets funky with some full motion video. If you don't know what full motion video, it is when in a game, you throw in actual video of people. It is not computer generated, it is video. Dr. Darling knows how to rock the full motion video stage. And there are little tidbits of it throughout the game with other characters as well. There are little moments where it uses it. And while it is off-putting just a little bit, it is wrong, but it is oh so right.
You like nice pressed things?
I do like nice press things.
Do you want to do my laundry?
so I'll be the one to interrupt
Bro,
here.
like, what?
Here's what I'll say about your laundry, and also about Control, is that both just smell really nice, and what I mean by that is, you mind if I throw out some terms that just come to me, guys?
Go for it. I love word association.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Control, the aesthetic, the style, the architecture, it's giving me concrete. It's giving me brutalism. It's giving me
Yes.
just sheer interesting lighting. It's giving me bureaucracy. It's giving me municipal buildings. This game, it transports you. You feel like you're in jury duty or going to a DMV 1 second, and the next second you're in a black hole's armpit. I don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? It gets crazy. It combines the abstract with the mundane, and it marries the two in a weird jambalaya goop that is so much fun to jump through and fly around in. I think the aesthetic of the game, the world building is so strong here, and the visuals especially. There was a really thick visual language that they wanted to present to the audience, and I think they did a really good job, personally.
I agree.
Sometimes the papi needs to be brutal, and this game lets you be a brutal papi.
That's right, baby. Concrete. How do you say concreto in Spanish?
Exactly like that.
Oye, mira, I might be a papi as well.
Okay, let's not get ahead of
I'm
ourselves.
sorry, excuse me.
It's okay. But don't do
Never.
it again.
Just a guest. Oh, yes, Nerd Lonzo, it looks like you have something to say.
I had one thing to talk about because it gave me a little bit of a fright. When I was watching our friend stream, I noticed she came across a couple of TV screens that were quite horrifying. And what really creeped me out was I couldn't find them in my game. I looked very hard and I couldn't find them. And that really disturbed me.
Okay, so we're just gonna say, we're gonna name drop. We're talking about the Threshold Kids. There is this little, like, mini series of these little, like, puppet things, puppet dolls, whatever, and, like, you find them. Well, apparently, according to Mr. Palaz over here, like, you don't always, but, like, I happen to find 2 or 3. I'm not positive. I'm not also not done with the game, but, like, I found, like, 2 or 3. And the moment I started watching this video, I was like, first of all, I don't do dolls. Like, I just don't do dolls. Okay, like, that's just like cut, print, done. 2, it was just like super eerie for no reason, because they make it feel like it's supposed to be for like children, and you're watching it and I'm like, I am like a quote unquote adult and I do not like this, like even a little bit. Like I'm not a fan. Gio, do you want to go ahead and let us know? Because I know you had mentioned this to me and you were like, yeah, dude, like you were all for it. Go ahead.
So what feels to be something that has no place in this game and is like completely not explained at all, it definitely, once you start delving into the lore of the world, it makes sense as to why they're there. But essentially, you're just doing your thing. You're walking around, and you kind of come across these TVs in what looks to be like the back interrogation room of like a police, building or something. Like, what is this? You just turn on the tape. There's nothing supernatural about these tapes. They're just regular VHS tapes, and they show effectively like a crappy homemade camcorder children's show called The Threshold Kids that is optional. It's totally an optional thing. You never have to locate them for a mission or anything, but I'm pretty sure there's like 6 or 7 of them, which is hilarious to me that you found not that many of them, that just shows how creepy the whole thing is. But it's everyone's. Do you know when you're on like YouTube at 3 a.m. down a rabbit hole of old children's stuff you used to watch when you were a kid? This is like at the end of that. This is the end.
Let's theoretically say yes.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're like Dragon Tales. I haven't seen that in 17 years. Let's pop it on. This is at
like the Bugs Bunny cartoons.
100. Yeah, or if you're not 75. So yeah. You totally this is at the end of that thing where it's like the most horrifying version of a children's program, and it's just there for you to hang out and watch. I love them.
Incredible. Bueno, do we have anything else, or do we feel like we are ready to cast our votes?
Bro, I'm ready.
Okay. In the case of Control, how do we vote? Listen. This game betters the humor of Until Dawn, the mystery of Outer Wilds, and the powers of Jedi Fallen Order. But ultimately, something is missing. Something to keep Papi passionate. And so while the game makes me feel like a powerful Papi, it does not make me feel like a passionate Papi. And it makes it easy for me to put down the game. Combine that with some questionable bad business boys practices, and ultimately, I found it a little too difficult to stay passionate about the game to complete it. So I cannot recommend that you buy it. It is a should not buy it though.
I agree, Triple B violations are not the best for a good game. And just going by gameplay alone, not the story. I have no comment for the story. The gameplay itself is not exactly challenging or new. It's been done. And therefore, I do not love it. So I cannot buy it.
Well, guys, I'll chime in here as the guest. I must say, I'm holding back tears as I speak. Because I feel that we didn't get the full impact. Papi, do you want a sequel to Inception? Do you really want a sequel to Inception?
No.
Yes, I don't know. I feel like yeah, if Inception had some DLCs, yeah, I'd go for it, But
Here's the thing. I don't want the DLC and I don't want the sequel. I just want the whole movie.
I feel personally for me, I'm gonna get it again for PS5 DLC, baby. The story hooked me in. The world building got me. I think it was just I played it at midnight and I was there. I felt like I was in the oldest house. Oh, it was fantastic. If you like atmosphere, if you like really interesting storytelling and narrative structure, if you like interesting visual language and aesthetic, I say go for it. Give it a whirl. Hey, I say should buy it.
Those are fair points. I give you a Papi point.
Grazie, porfa.
You now have 2 Pappy points.
Thank you for the tally.
Look,
You're
man,
welcome.
the game is fun to play, even for an old guy like me. It's $25 at Target, $20 on the PC, and it's on PSN now, whatever that is. I had fun to play. It reminded me of my childhood and the Star Wars games, and just beating people up with a trash can is just good old American fun, which is what we've been missing these years. So I'm gonna say, you should buy it.
How was your childhood? Did you throw gas fire extinguishers at
We didn't have video games back in my day, so we threw trash cans to feel joy.
Wow, it's full of nostalgia for you. I'm happy to hear that.
We also had psychic powers.
The 50s were a crazy
Whoa.
time, baby.
Okay. So on that, look, like, I feel like it's not even a question with me. Like, I feel like it's even stupid to ask me this question. But, like, right now, bruh, it's a dale, bro. Like, it's a hashtag dale, bro. Get the game. It is either a dale, bro, or a sale, bro. And right now, we're straight up dale, bro. Like, go get the game. Like, what do you... No, I'm sorry. This game, first of all, it really did make me feel like I was in control. Like, it really did.
That's the name of the game.
It did.
That's crazy. That was
Thank you
good.
so
That was
much
good.
for
That was good.
noticing. Thank you so much. I'll be here like for however long, but like overall, the game is a good freaking time. Like, we made our points. It's fun to throw stuff at people who are your enemies and who also just so happen to not be your enemies. And the world building, mwah, chef's kiss. The exploration, mwah, another chef's kiss. That's 2 chef's kisses right there. Like, that's like a lot. Like, that's 2 little besitos right there for you. Like, you're welcome. So, and you know, like, I'm totally gonna go and I'm gonna buy the DLC. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish these side missions and I'm gonna have a good freaking time doing it. Okay? I had a great time. I had a blast. Gio, thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you for playing.
I feel changed as a person. Yeah, bro. Like, anytime. But now I'm gonna pass it on to my boy Palazzo and let's see where he stands because you can really like kind of ruin this for me, bro. Okay?
The console version of this game has a supreme amount of technical issues that I cannot stand. However, the lore of this game is some of the most fascinating I have seen in any video game. And what this game is, down to its bones, is Star Wars, except you're a flying Jedi with a gun. Therefore, I must say you have to buy this game. With a caveat.
That's my boy.
With a caveat. Buy it for the PC, not the PlayStation or the Xbox. Buy it for the PC. That is all.
And in the case of Control, with a vote of 4-2, you should buy it though. Congratulations to the guest for braving the danger of the guest recommended games and prevailing with power.
I now can completely just pee with ease. I've been waiting for a week now just to... I mean, so much stress. You guys are a cutthroat. You know, you have a reputation for just... Whew. So, finally, the bathroom is mine.
Me too, I just peed.
You should just get it Depends. It's great. I've been peeing this whole time.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. Yes, thank you to our guest. Sorry, Papi forgot his manners for a
That
second.
was almost a bad boy move, a BBB.
I thought I was forgetful.
Giorgio, where can the audience find you?
Yeah. Well, you guys can find me on my website, giovolpe.com. Right there, you can see my gallery of some theatrical shows that I've been in. And also, I'm teaching guitar lessons throughout this quarantine, so if you're interested in learning the wonderful and fulfilling world of learning an instrument, please, let me teach you. It's a lot of fun. And, yeah, you know, that's what I got going on right now. You gotta... And I'll be playing some DLC of Control, so I'll catch you there.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast. A force push blast.
I see what you did there. Can I leave now? It's past my bedtime.
Bro, like, I'm waiting for Palazzo to do his thing. Is he not gonna do it anymore?
Goodbye.
Okay, like, that is the one constant that I need. Like, if we're gonna be making changes, I
was
need that,
bassy. I
bro.
love
Like, for
that.
real.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's really good
Do you
at it.
mind, do you mind if I try it?
Please do.
Okay, yeah, you're better at it, for sure.
Okay.
And that's the outro clip.
Okay.
For every guest we have on this show, they get to attempt the goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's like I accidentally clicked on hentai for 2 seconds.
Oh, accidentally.
Accidentally.